Hey guys, FJ Cuts here and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but we are back and we are better. If you guys are coming into the new year with a positive mind, happy new year to you, because we're leaving all the bad vibes behind. And guys, today we have a haircut tutorial, and it's just my boy Jaden getting a low skin fade with obviously the slick back on top. And as you guys can see, what I'm doing here is I'm starting to clip the hair on top, because when we're fading, guys, you want to make sure you have a clean slate, an area where there's no overhangs, so you can actually fade it cleanly. I'm just combing the hair down, which we're going to be trimming. But yeah guys, FJ Cuts has been slowing down because we are planning for some big moves this year. It's the year of the rabbit, and I said this year has to be the year we do something big, guys. So after reaching 100k subscribers, we're going to be changing up everything that's been going on with FJ Cuts. So make sure you guys subscribe if you want to, stay tuned to what's going to be happening in the next couple of months. But we're going to take the channel to the next level, guys. Well, that's the plan. So as you guys can see, we're just debulking, and I'm using a thick clipper comb, which is the Andis one, if you guys are wondering. And I'm just combing up, and I'm just using my clippers to just get off that bulk. As you guys can see, my comb is not directly straight. I'm flicking outwards a little bit, so at least it doesn't dig too in, because we still want to give that gradients of a fade. We don't want it to just like the fade to just dig into the scalp. We want the fade to flick out, because he has long hair on the top, so we wanted to fade it, and like the hair on top can just rest on the fade. Alright guys, after dusting them off, I'm using my Slimline Pros here, and I am currently putting in my first guideline, which is the balding line, and I'm keeping it around the ear because it is a low fade, and we want to keep it as low as possible, guys. We don't want to bring the fade too high up, especially since he does want it to like kind of drop a bit at the back, and it looks nicer because we are going with his head shape. So just curve around the ear, lightly tap around the ear, because the skin around the area is quite sensitive, so you could cut him if you're not too careful, especially depending on like how sharp your trimmers are. I'm gonna get rid of all the hair, guys, especially like the areas you've just shaved off, so it makes it easier for your foil shaver to get to that extra skin gradient. Guys, always dust them off, guys, so when you're going into your next trimming or fading, it's just a cleaner slate for you guys. It's always better to work with something that's like clean. Now we're using a 2 guard, and I'm just flicking out, getting rid of more of the bulk. So once we set in our 0.5 and add more gradients, it's a lot easier. So I'm flicking out, as you guys can see. You can see from the back it kind of flicks out. So this is a 2 guard, and it should be open. You're just flicking out, getting rid of some bulk. Now I went in with my foil shaver. I'm not bringing it all the way up to the line, but I'm flicking up towards the line, so at least the line is not too harsh for you once you're fading that line in. So I'm flicking up towards the line, but I'm getting rid of all the stubble that you see around the bottom. Now I'm using my Andis Fade Masters, and I'm just going up half an inch, kind of like the same length, same width as your finger. And I'm just going up and flicking up, making the guideline quite neat, guys, because your fade kind of, the outcome of your fade kind of just relies on your guidelines. So if you have a clean guideline, you have a clean fade, because you know how high you want the fades to be on each area. So just set yourself up for a good fade. And now I'm going out with my 1.5 open, and I'm starting to flick up after that 0.5. This is just cleaning up the area, making that area a little bit lighter. So once you go with your 1 guard, it should be easier to fade that line in. Take your time, guys. You don't need to go straight in and dig deep. Just keep flicking up. The hair will, it will cut. Just let the trimmers do its work. You don't need to dig deep. And now I'm using my 1 guard, as I said, open, and I'm just starting to flicking out that line. Guys, do not dig too deep, or else you'll start bringing the fade high. So just keep flicking. It's all in your wrist, guys. As you can see with my other hand, guys, I am using it to tilt his head and stretch the skin a little bit, so at least your trimmers can work on some areas where there's a lot of hair. Usually when there's a lot of hair in one area, you can stretch the skin so you can actually spread the hairs out and fade it. And now I'm going with the 1 guard again, just working on the front. Take your time, guys, especially with low fade. It's very easy to just over fade, and then it will become like a mid fade. Just use the corners, use half of the blade, and just flick out. With the 1.5, I do go back in and just clean up the fade on areas which was too dark, as you guys can see. After the 1, you do get to fade the 1.5 into that 2 that we did earlier. Just use half of the blade, don't dig in too deep. And then after this, you guys want to use your half guard and just flick out any dark spots you see from the 0.5 to the 1. So just use a 0.5 guard and just clean up the areas by flicking up your lever. Just play around with the lever. Remember, guys, when it's closed, it cuts more. When it's open, it cuts less. So just play around with it. Start with it open and then go closed. Always flick up. Don't dig deep. As you guys can see, that half guard has started to clean up there a little bit, which is preparing me to go in with no guard. As you guys can see, look how much lighter it is. It's easier to flick out that bottom line once you make it light with that 0.5 guard. And here I'm playing with the lever and I'm just flicking out that bottom line. now the other side, guys, is pretty much self-explanatory. We do the same thing we did from the other side and do it on this side. When I do trim hair outside of recording, I just do it all at once and not just one side. But for recording's sake, I did it for one side only and then just done the other side after. By doing it all in one go from one side to the other, you get that fade much better because one side's not going to be too high and one side's going to be too low. But for the recording's sake, I did it just this when I'm recording, so it's easier for you guys to see what's going on. The areas there so you guys can just see what we're going to do next. And now I'm just shaping up the hairline, guys, because he does want to shape up, and I'm kind of just bringing the hair down from his baby hairs because we don't want to push it too far back. We're just going to use up some enhancements to just make it darker after. Sorry about the camera, guys, but this is what we have, and I'm just lightly tapping it and I'm trying to create the shape. Remember, bring it down and just tap it. Just let the trimmer work its job. You don't want to dig into his skin. And he does want the C, as you guys can. We've made that C from doing the no fade. Just make that curve. And now we're just wetting the hair on top, and we're going to do a little bit of shear work. What I usually do is ask him how much length he wants to get rid of, and I think we went with an inch or quite a bit more depending on what we discussed prior to the haircut. But what I'm doing is I'm fading the sides, so I usually trim a lot more on the sides because we want it to just rest on the fade, and then I start working it from the one side to the other. guys, while I was trimming like the top, I realized there's still a little bit more of heavy bulk on the sides, and to just make that a little bit light, you could use some finish scissors, or you can just do what I did here and use the clip over comb method and just get rid of that bulk. And then you want to go in after and use your finish scissors, just blend all of that in. Guys, as you can see here, we're using a blade and we're just pulling the skin down, and we're using the blade to glide to that shape up. Don't want to cut him, you just want to do some light action, as you guys can see. Guys, we're just drying the hair using a comb and using an attachment with a hair dryer, just combing the hair back. But yeah guys, this is the cut. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And also, if you've learned something today, comment down below on what else you guys want to see. But like I said guys, the FJ Cuts movement is going to be different this year. But yeah, this is the cut. If you guys liked it, we are back this year, so make sure you guys subscribe. But yeah, peace.